What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dore back again with another podcast. I'm getting bored of it. I'm going to tell Des to take over because we keep winning. So, people, if Des will be the host, I'm going to sit there for 1 hour because I thought I can repeat what I said last time, then the other show and the other show. So, I'm just bored of it. So, if you're new to my channel, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. We keep winning. Des, take over, mate. I'm bored. Take over, Des.
I can feel those shoes, Dore.
I'm bored.
It'd be like Nuno trying to fill Steve Cooper's, wouldn't it?
Oh, people!
I think he's more than done that.
I'm bored, people. I hope everyone's all right. What can I say? We'll be another big team again. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and get in the comment section, people. We're third in the league. We're thinking about European football. Get your passports out. I've got a lot to talk about. Let's get the guests in. And we'll start with the man himself, Des. Des, how you feeling? I know you got loads to talk about, but how are you?
Absolutely buzzing. Football's just been a brilliant addition to this Christmas, hasn't it? You know, it's been a great Christmas. I really enjoyed some time with friends and family. And then when you get to see all your Forest people at the match, you know, at the away match at Brentford, and then yesterday, it's just an amazing feeling that we're picking up points, still right up there in the table. It's just like an extra Christmas present, isn't it? Because we wait so long for this kind of thing. It don't happen all the time. You have to persevere. And right now, that feeling isn't going away. Hopefully, it continues into Sunday in Everton.
Des, before I get monitoring, do you still feel Man U will finish above Forest?
All right, you didn't wait long to get that one in, did you?
Just say him. I'm just responding to what you're saying. Do you feel Man U will finish before Forest?
Man U, absolutely. I'm only guilty of trying to be realistic because Man U, from what I've seen in the last two games from them, they are absolutely atrocious.
Des, you're not answering my question, Des. You're not answering my question.
We'll get into it, Dore, but what I see from Forest is they're just developing into a proper football side week on week, and we've not been that. So I'm quite happily surprised by what I'm seeing, and feeling like we can win any game, and feeling like we're a million miles ahead of them all of a sudden. Just being realistic, just being pragmatic. You know, it's the best way to keep it. Enjoy the process.
No, people in the chat, Des said to me, Man U are going to finish with Forest. And now people see Man U play, they're playing absolutely garbage, and Forest playing fantastic. And Des says Man U will finish above Forest. And now he's trying to
want to quote me properly. Molo's had enough already. If you want to quote me properly, I said I still think over a season, this was 3 or 4 weeks ago, that United will come good at some point, and it can still happen. Don't count your chickens. Come to me in May and give me all you want, but it can still happen. I was just being pragmatic. He decided to come back, Marlo, after hearing enough of this.
Sorry. I was trying to get the chat on the bottom of my screen to see it. But I've just one of them mornings.
We've got the man himself, Marlo. It's been a long time. How you feeling, Marlo?
Very, very happy. I've, like a lot of people, I've had this particularly horrible winter bug virus has been going around for the last, feels like 5 weeks now. The thing that's kept me going is football. I have to mention, get it out of the way early, because she'll tell you every time you see. Ellie keeps telling me, I told you we were going to get European football. I told you we were going to get European football, even though we haven't yet.
Wait. When did she said it on the chat? Or she
said it on the show, yeah. I think she's going to find it. She said we're going to have European football.
Ellie can't do that to me again. She can't do that to me. No. I'll find it. I'll find it.
I'm loving life. You know what I'm like. Because when you watch the game, you get a feel for the emotion, don't you? And it can be a bit. It's changed a lot, obviously, because as soon as Morata walks on the pitch now, you think game over. But it's like watching it back today and yesterday, the whole game again. It didn't quite feel the same as what I saw yesterday, but it's just I can't explain it. It's Tottenham only know one way to play, don't they? And not only that, if they'd have tried to do something different, their defence was so ropey it could have hurt them a lot more than it hurt us, as Liverpool showed. So they knew they had to be on the front foot, get us sitting back, trying to play through us, play around us, whatever. And apart from a fair play couple of moments from Jono, they didn't have it in them, did they? And their defence, I mean, I think that Archie Gray, by the way, is a real prospect, but obviously not a centre back. It was just unreal. We just watching it, but I didn't realise how good a chance, you'd have noticed it 'cause it was right in front of you, how good a chance Iners was, for instance, to make it 2-0.
Yeah,
and
it was a very good chance. Very good chance.
We played with it. I know you said you're getting bored of it jokingly, but we're saying the same things every week now, aren't we? The back four superb, 2 centre backs in particular. I thought Williams had a really good game. That was a really, really good battle with Jono. Really enjoyed that. Which in the end, you'd say Williams came out on top.
Out of each other, being best mates.
I love that. But that happens, doesn't it? That happens if you come up against your mates, if you're not in the same team. They'll probably be having a beer that night, and that's what sport and football's all about, isn't it? But absolutely superb. I tell you what, watching it back as well, I mean, for me, it's almost impossible to pick a man of the match out of Morata and Murillo. Individually, they're worth silly money, and I hope this never happens, and I shouldn't say it, if somebody that thinks they're a big team that's got a crap defence needed to sort it out, they should just take the hit and offer 200 million for the pair, because together, I mean, individually they're both brilliant players, but they complement each other absolutely perfectly. And it reminds me, I know there are different types of players in different times, but talk about complementing each other and being bigger than the sum of the parts. Reminds me of last time we finished third. Cooper, a cracking player, Chettle, a cracking, solid defender. But together they were impregnable, weren't they, for 2 years? It's a bit like that, but possibly because they're so young, even obviously Murillo with even more potential. But it's just every game now. You just go in there and you expect our defence to be superb. I mean, we were actually, if we were being hypercritical, we weren't actually that incisive on the break compared to normal. Do you know what I mean? I know we scored on the break, which is all we needed to do. But the fact that there's room for improvement is so and you get that sense that they want to improve. They're not resting on their laurels. There's none of this. Look at us, we're 3rd and 4th in the league. It's every game we want to improve. We want to improve. Gibbs White pass, right? I've shared this now. Get it out of the way. I didn't celebrate the goal very much because right in line with it, and when he was running, I was like, pass it. I thought he'd left it too late because he'd got goal side of the left back. I thought he was offside. I didn't realise there was a guy in the middle playing him on by millimetres, thank goodness. So I was like, oh no. And it was a brilliant, the whole thing was brilliant. But again, just shows how crap VAR is. But very happy. All that mattered was 3 points. I thought it was a potential banana skin because you never know with them. Scoring 3 against Liverpool and nothing against us. So onwards and upwards, ready for a 0-0 at Everton.
100%. I'm going for the comments. There's quite people watching. Mohammed, big win yesterday for Forest and Flying High. Thank you, Dore, for subscribing to my channel. Make sure everyone subscribe to Mohammed. He's doing a YouTube channel as well. So if you can, people, go and subscribe to Mohammed. I hope you're well, my friend. Ruben blah blah. Hi, Dore. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? Chris, the American, happy Christmas, Dore and Manners. Best Forest days in a long time. Come on, you Rez. Shout out to Chris, all the way from America. Top guy. Eve, good evening, Mr. Dore. Desmola, hope you're well. Good evening, Mr. Had a good Christmas. I'm so happy for one yesterday. Just finished workout, and then I'm going out for workout 1 p.m. Is that 1 p.m. Eve? Enjoy your work and make sure you got a bigger smile on your face as well. Mohammed, I think this is the aim at Des. Man, you are shambles and they're shocking 14th in the league. They are relegation battle. They are relegation battle, and we are fighting for the Champions League. Yes, we are fighting for the Champions League. Just can someone remind us that because he thinks Man U.
Enjoy the process. Don't get carried away. Enjoy it. Each week we're above them. It's enjoyable.
We are. I'm just trying to get Des. I'm just trying to get Des in. That's all. I'm trying to get you in. Stephen, how you doing, my friend? Well, Steve. Again, inspiring the team in the men's, but now we have got players of all areas of foreign players coming from all angles coming US, and that's definitely like. Remember, everyone was criticizing Langer, and now he's got three games.
Not everyone.
What?
Not everyone.
It's Lango. It's still Lango, man. Right. Oh, there's Dawn. John, you tipsy or whatever? I hope you're not. Hey up, lads. I really want you to go out for the night out with Elena. What a guy! He's actually a legend, man. Elena. If you want to go out with a drink, he's an absolute legend.
Yeah, we should actually be on the Madrid and Stella with Ina, shouldn't we? That should be the song.
Exactly. Shout out to Dawn.
Ribena or Stella.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, let's talk about yesterday's game, man, because like I said, 1-0 Spurs. They had 2 chances, and that was from Brent Johnson. But let's talk about Sells, Des, and again, he's kept another clean sheet against a very you got to say Spurs front 4 and low confidence, but it's still a good team. But we've got to praise the goalkeeper. Then the defense can't be Des.
Well, the best thing about it all is the fact that you've picked out an individual there that was fantastic in parts yesterday. It's been fantastic for the last 5 or 6 weeks in all reality. But you can go anywhere around the team and they're working collectively as a unit, aren't they? Do you know, the defence, we've all raved about the defence. There's going to be times, even in the world's best defence, where you get through them because that's football. That's what happens. The goalkeeper's there for a reason, to do his job when he's called upon.
That's his job.
And the biggest compliment you can give to Sells right now is when he's called upon, he's doing his job. We're not conceding the amount of chances we were. And one of my big worries with several Forest keepers over the last few years, even Sells at the beginning, was concentration, you know, and being able to stick in games and make save after save. It's proven when he's not required to make save after save, his concentration has been absolutely spot on. I think the last time there was any question marks over him, and we all had question marks, everyone thought we might look to get a new goalkeeper, was Brighton, wasn't it? The free kick, you know, he didn't set his wall up very well. And there was actually an occasion yesterday where he set a wall up and it didn't look like he knew what he was doing. But other than that, you know, he's just been absolutely brilliant. And I think he's feeling it. I mentioned last week, didn't I, how he picked up on that song at the end of the game and he turned back and you could almost sense he had the smile from here to here. So he's feeling part of the team. He's feeling part of the setup. The confidence is flowing. You can see it the way they approach games. The football, in reality, is not absolutely out of this world. Again, it's that pragmatic Nuno approach that means every man in the team's got a role to play, and it starts from the old-fashioned number 1 to 11. You know, and they're doing it with those 2 in front of you. You know, you're going to have a quiet time. But again, I saw so much leadership in that back 3, Sells and the 2 defenders yesterday, slapping each other's hand every time. It's been building over weeks. It's been there for a while, but sort of looking down at it, we was under a little bit of pressure at times because of the way they break very quickly, even though there was no end product. When they got that last tackle in, you know, the keeper and I-5 and there was one instance where Jota let a man sort of run off the back of him towards the end. And Tillman, every single one of them gave him a rollicking, you know, was straight over to him because he didn't pick up his man. And he took it well, you know, he took it really well, and there was I-5 again after. But again, it's everybody knows their role, and within that, Sells is just doing what goalkeepers should do. First and foremost, it's about saving. You know, I've got a massive problem with modern football and modern defending, where they don't do the basic of goalkeeping and defending first. They've got people like Fraser Forster trying to play football, which is absolutely ridiculous because ultimately it costs goals, and we're seeing it week in, week out. And this reluctance for, I'm sure we'll come on to my thoughts about.
That'll be next. That'll be next. Don't push it.
But again, it just going back to Sells, when he's called upon, look, yesterday's saves, you probably expect him to make them, but he's making them every time. That's the point now. I know, and before Marlowe comes in, I know I don't want to throw him under the bus. I know he's had a bit of a problem with Sells in the past, but I think we all did, in fairness. I think we all had a bit of a thing. And the saves like the Brentford one, you know, sometimes it's luck, but in football, you make your own luck, don't you? Do you know, if it hits you in the face and goes over the crossbar, you've done your job. And I think at times yesterday there was a few cases of that, but that's where by being sort of on the front foot with the way we want to play, like I say, it's not always the most exciting football, but we're playing on our terms now, and that's what really excites me. Because that's when the players get confident. It doesn't matter what formation or what the setup is, as long as the players believe in the manager and know what they're doing, then you've got confidence flowing through the team. And I'll just repeat what I just said. It starts from 1 to 11. Sells feels a massive part of the team. And I think that's the difference. And again, that's why I thought that song last week, and the way he looked back and he had the massive grin on his face, why it's important, because he actually feels like he's the number one. I think they made the point on Match of the Day. He's feeling now that this is his place where all of us as fans and perhaps even the owner and the manager has probably been thinking of it. Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, it's fine.
No worries. Do you want me to jump in? Someone's at work.
I'm
jumping on the Matt Sells thing, Dore.
Yeah.
I don't want to say hypercritical. I just felt.
Stop lying.
Stopgap. I'll say what I said. I thought it was a stopgap because he was relatively cheap.
You'll be here till 4.
Yeah.
Come on,
and he was a steady pair of hands.
Come on,
Right. I thought it was a stopgap and a steady pair of hands because we were chucking in goals every week. And last season in particular, he's superb. I've said it all the time. He's superb with his feet. He can make great saves like most keepers do. He makes very few mistakes outside of crosses. But he was weak on crosses last year. And what was lovely yesterday, he's got better and better as a keeper for us and grown in confidence. But I watched it a couple of times. He came 3 or 4 yards off his line and punched a cross away. Anything further out than that, and that's the job of Milenkovic, Murillo and Chris Wood and whatnot. And that's something that you've got to praise Nuno, the thinking the whole way around. I'm not trying to backhandedly slate Sells. He's not your man to come and collect crosses, is he? But he's got so many other strengths that now we've got the right team around him. He's worked. Just going to pick up on 2 things Des said. One, obviously, the way we're improving. If you look at, and I remember I said at the start of the season, I felt everything depended on the players learning a lot from last year, all those 21, 22, 23-year-olds, and improving that little bit. Murillo, if you compare his last performance against Solanke at home when Solanke was playing for Bournemouth versus yesterday, he dominated Solanke this time, didn't he? He really showed absolute class and strength. And the other thing I was going to say, you're saying, Des, about it's not the greatest football. I 100% get where you're coming from. But the difference is, a year ago, I'd be watching the game when we're being dominated, and I'd be looking at our defence. Oh, God, where's the space? Now, I'm looking at the defence. I'm thinking, right, who's going to nick this? And then we're going to break at 90 miles an hour and maybe create a chance. And we only need to do it once or twice, don't we? And it works like yesterday. So I totally get what you're saying. 30% possession is very poor. And, clearly we want more than that. We didn't use the possession that brilliantly at times. We lost it cheaply. But in that 30%, we managed to create 3 or 4 really good chances, take one. And there were other times where we had really good breaks and the final ball wasn't there or whatever. So it's kind of a different type of exciting, a bit like the Clough years, the sort of knowing
that's the thing. There's more than one way. That's my big point about Postecoglou, which we'll probably come to. Yeah. There's more than one way to win a football match. It doesn't upset me that we're not winning it in the way that Spurs might want to win their football matches or Arsenal play their football. We found a formula that works for Nottingham Forest, and for too long, teams have been trying to play it in a way that doesn't work for their club. We've got our best 2 players potentially are the centre backs, so we play to our strength. We tried to play to our strength we tried to play the same game when the centre backs were by far not the best 2 players in previous seasons under Steve Cooper as well. We were trying to play to play a defensive game when we didn't have Murillo and Milenkovic. And now we've got these two real talents and a solid goalkeeper and solid fullbacks. Why not play to that? That's all I'm saying. You know, I love what we're doing. I love the way we break and things, but there's more than one way to win a football match. And my frustration is that everybody wants to be Man City, prime Man City from 2
Not
years.
anymore. Not anymore, they don't.
Not anymore, they don't.
But don't you think, another thing Des said, and I like, you're dead right. There's only 2 times this season where I'd say we haven't imposed our game on the opposition. Whether we won or lost or drew, but the way we play. And that was obviously away at Man City, it just wasn't our day. But I think home against Newcastle, we didn't impose our game on them. They almost did it to us, didn't they, in a way? That they kind of out-forested us in a way and hit us with some really good goals on the break. And it's almost like we're not falling for that anymore because Spurs can do that as well. They can't defend, but they can hit you on the break. And they never looked like hurting us on the break yesterday. They looked like, when they had all those overloads and they had about 8 attacking players there and Archie Gray was coming out from the back 4 onto the left wing and overloading and all that. But they never looked like hurting us on the break, did they? And that was what was nice. And it was just, I don't know, like that feeling when someone like Collymore used to get the ball, or at a lesser level, Andy Reid. When we win the ball defensively around the edge of our box, you get that feeling something could happen, don't you now? I know it ain't always going to happen, but when we're playing well, someone could take an absolute hammering, couldn't they, the way we're doing that? But equally, if one goal's enough, one goal's enough.
100%. I'm just going to go for the comment before we get little Tez's rant about little Podge. What's his
Don't sit on the fence, Des.
Phil says there's remind Mollo he's still on the warning. What warning you on, Mollo? I think what's he mean?
I think it was because he was trying to claim some Welsh player was on a level as Neil Webb or something like that. I can't remember now. It's just a Welsh thing, bless him. I don't know how many pebbles to a pound it is in Wales now, though.
Yeah. Lee says anybody thinks Eminem are the best centre back pairing. I think
they're definitely up there.
They're definitely up there. On stats, they are. On stats, they are. But you'll get these Arsenal and Liverpool fans and Chelsea fans saying we're the bloody top 6 Cartwell. What not bloody bubble is what it is.
Yeah, you got to do it for time, haven't they?
Yeah, it is what it is. Alan says, "Oh, here we go, Alan. We are coming for you, Dore. I should be working, but instead I'm listening to Des and Moller speak sense, and then listen to you bellend. You can put your passport back in the safe." And well done for winning yesterday. Well done. I did watch the game, and well done, Alan, for winning the game.
We think we had a good Christmas. Imagine Fulham beating Chelsea with 2 late goals at Stamford Bridge on Boxing Day.
Did you see the limbs? Bloody in the Chelsea in the Fulham end, bloody.
You don't really see that, do you?
Marco Silva was in with
a polite clap and a doff of the cap for Fulham fans normally, isn't it?
I think someone done this from Chelsea end, and they went. It's like when we beat Derby away when Ben Osborne scored. It went mental. Bristol City away, like it was mental. Paddy Harry says, "Afternoon, Dore, Mollo, and Des. What a Christmas to be a Forest fan, 100%, man. That's why I get bored of it. Like you don't like get bored of it. Like we just keep winning.
Bored of it, Des. Long may it continue." Never get bored of winning.
Sales is a different keeper now. His relationship with Eminem, his confidence now is something special, 100%.
That's what I was trying to say, I think.
Yeah, it is
he knows he hasn't got to worry about those crosses. He hasn't got to worry about those crosses around the penalty spot, has he? And around the edge of the 6-yard box, because he knows they're going to be looked after. And the rest of his game is quality anyway. And like Des said, he's concentrate. I can't think of any serious errors not to do with crosses that he's made since we signed him.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, silly shots that we could have played, whatever.
Yeah. We've got Ian, another Ian. I hope you are, my friend. After final whistle, Sales punching it, ran over to the Brand Club celebration with the fans. Yeah, I've seen that bit. I think he's catched on with his song now. I think he catched on against Brentford away, but now he's officially catched on.
It's very appropriate, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's very appropriate. It is complete madness where we are.
Very. Like Des says, hit the like button, please, if you can. Subscribe to my channel as well. It helps my channel a lot, so more people can watch it as well. Ricky says, great win yesterday. Europe, here we come. Will Dominguez stays suspended, Ricky, but he's back for the
Suspended.
Everton game. But Ryan Yates is suspended as well, so maybe
We need him, aren't we?
yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe we might need him, but we just keep being teams below, aren't we? So that's how we can play anyone, if I'm honest. Now says,
we need Dominguez now that Yates is suspended.
now says, how come Des never on YouTube anymore on his own channel? Des, respond to that.
Because Dore don't pay me enough to do a show for him.
Wait. Listen, wait. People in the chat, I said it for the past year, right? Because Des does his own before and after game reaction. Put it on YouTube. That's what I said. Does he listen? Hell no. So people in the
Get over
chat.
to Twitter. There's the handle at Des Oldham.
there's his handle, Des Oldham.
Share and like and repost or whatever they say.
If you want to follow Des, go and follow Des on Twitter. And Des Oldham tag, and he does his before and after game reaction from the game. So, but still,
and it's real and raw. And sometimes I get it wrong before anyone shouts.
No, it gets it wrong all the time. So that's the.
That's why I have to rewatch the game. That's why I have to rewatch the game before I come on, just to make sure.
40 King says, just at work listening to this. What a team! What a club! Proud. Thank you for watching at work. Thank you very much, 40 Kings, as well.
Did I forget to mute myself there when I was talking?
No, I muted it.
Oh, thank God for that.
I muted it. I saved your life. See, this is what I do for Des. I saved his life as well. But yeah, people, please do hit the like button if you can. Right. God. Des has been complaining about Angie, the Postecoglou. Saying he's this, that, and the other. And is it Spurs fans?
Tell you what I think he is.
Go on, Des.
Fraud.
Say it.
He's a
the
fraud.
biggest fraud in football. The biggest fraud in football. Right? Look, and the more they talk about, like, obviously the build-up this week, they talk about Nuno and his time at Spurs and it didn't work out. Do you know, Nuno was given, what, a couple of months? This guy's been
17 games.
17 games. This guy's been given, like, 18 months now. And I just don't get what it's all about. You know, Nuno, he's had to dig in. Some of us, and I'll be honest, you know, I was probably one of them. Most of us, in all reality, probably lost the patience a little bit with him. Couldn't really see what was coming. At the end of last season, I think we was all in that quandary, stick or twist, weren't we? Yeah. You know, most of us, I think, would have twist. We would have gone for someone else because he didn't get us off a seat. He didn't excite us. But it just shows, doesn't it, in football, you give a manager time, and to some degree, I'm probably advocating Postecoglou gets a bit more, but I don't get what all the excitement is around this guy. I don't get what he's done to deserve this being put up on a pedestal. Again, you look at a Spurs side, I looked, right, the players that come off their bench yesterday, they're front three as well. Johnson, Son, and Solanke. How much is that worth? And then Kulusevski in there as well. You're looking at over £200 million worth of talent. And then you've got Maddison on the bench who cost 40. You've got Verma who's cost 60, 70 million at some point, although he's the second biggest forward in football. Because I just don't get it. And the only reason it's kind of relevant right now, because this is a Forest podcast, of course, is because you look at Nuno and the way what he did at Wolves, you know, with an unfashionable team and got them playing and got them working to his philosophy. And then he had this short spell. And again, it comes back. What I think what Postecoglou does is only a good reflection on what managers like Nuno and Marco Silva do. You know, because they actually get teams playing. They build proper teams. You've seen it now with Areola at Bournemouth. And Unai Emery's done it at Villa. You know, they've actually got some substance to what they do. This guy's taking talented players. Yesterday, we all use the term loosely because we hear pundits saying it, basket case, you know, Spursy. They was all over the place. There was an absolute basket case. Yes, of course they're going to be exciting when they go forward because there were 6 of them standing up front most of the time. And they were, for me, they were hanging out. Jed Spence, Archie Gray, the other guy, Dragerson was getting the ball and running 60 yards with it, making it 7 up front. You know, no wonder Forest scored a goal in the way they did. And all Nuno had to do and I'm not saying all he had to do, because you still got to win and you still got to keep them out at that end. He needed to figure out how to break them down, and then didn't. None of it wasn't rocket science, was it? We're going to get in behind these, with Alanga, Hudson, and Dore, and we're going to score. And I felt Forest should have been far more comfortable yesterday, purely based on the quality of chances that we didn't have many. We didn't have. We're never going to have many. What sort of. Before the game, in my little sort of preview, what I said was, and it actually transpired the way I predicted it, I thought Forest had to go toe-to-toe with Tottenham, because you let them come at you, you can be 2-0 down. In most games, Forest have let the team come onto them, Brentford, Man United to some degree, and then we've gone back at them. We've absorbed the game almost and then figured it out and then done what we do. What I was fearing yesterday was, if we let Tottenham do that, they can be 2-3-0 up. They still scored 3 goals against Liverpool last week, even though they got done for 6. So I felt Forest had to go toe-to-toe. And the first 20 minutes for me was like a basketball match. Then Forest thought, they've got nothing. So they did retreat a little bit. They can't damage us. And then we got in front, and then again it became that sort of pragmatic approach which sees us out of games, especially in the last half an hour. And what's the most sort of positive thing about Nuno is we know this is how he plays, but it's what he's doing with individuals at times. What he did with Vino and John McGinn a couple of weeks ago. No one saw that coming. Dominguez playing almost as a right wing back, and the way the fullbacks are attacking in a ridiculous way, considering most of the time they're asked to play as a back 5. And that, for me, we all hate back 5. We like to think it's a free with attacking fullbacks. It is when we've got the ball, but those fullbacks are so good and so agile and fit that they get in to make it a 5 every single time. And at the other end of the pitch, almost getting caught offside, and that kind of thing. So it's just so exciting to watch. And I shouldn't use this term about myself so much on here, but as a bit of a purist who likes to really get into the tactics and the nitty gritty, I'm loving it. I'm loving the gritty stuff, the determination that Forest have to show. The fact that we're not playing like Spurs to win football matches. I feel going to Everton on Sunday is going to be possibly our hardest game of the lot.
Yeah, should put your mute, Des. I'll put Des on mute. Put him on mute.
I agree with what Des says there. Everton makes me nervous because they're going to want us to come on to them, and we're going to want them to come on to us. And now they've got Branthwaite fit and firing again. They're a different prospect at the back, aren't they? Because you got to think, they don't concede many goals when they've got him there, even with probably the worst pair of fullbacks you could find anywhere. And it's even worse at the minute because Young's not fit. Everton makes me nervous. I can't lie. I shouldn't be, because this team have shown what a terrific side they are. But one thing you do know, Nuno, Des hinted at it, Nuno will have prepared a plan to do something to do the job on Everton without Yates, unfortunately, because it's a Yates type of game, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is.
But
I think was it last year? Was it last year, Molo, when we played Everton?
Yeah.
I think who played that role was Dominguez Danilo, and it didn't work at all.
No.
I think then Ryan Yates come on, and he did change it a little bit on that. So and we all know what a Dutch team plays as well. So I don't know. But
they've got on a bit of a roll, haven't they? They've got on a bit of a roll, and I think, like Des said, you kind of trust in Nuno to have a good look at Everton and say, right, this is how we stop them and this is how we hurt them, because they don't score many goals, but now that they're fit and firing with Branthwaite, that Branthwaite's some player as well, to be fair. And now that he's fit, I think I saw a stat yesterday before I left for the game. They concede on average less than a goal a game when he's in the team, whereas without him, they were struggling, weren't they? But also, he was like half fit when he first came back in, but now they're firing again. It's not an easy game, but you trust. I can't imagine it's going to be an exciting game. It'll be a proper bit of a pitch battle, which we need to win.
Before, I want to ask a question, but I'm just going to go through the comments as well. I nearly threw my daughter on the pitch for excitement. Both of us in Europe next season, up the Forest. Imagine me and Alan FaceTiming each other. Why is he? I'm in Lithuania and he's in Kazakhstan. FaceTiming each other. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? That'd be amazing. Molly, I said to Des on the other podcast when we beat Brentford about Alanga, because now he's got 3-3. His confidence is high now. And there was discussion of Newcastle, 50 million, blah, blah. People in the chat, get involved. Would you keep him now? Would you keep him now? He's on this roll.
Well, for me personally, yes. But it's all about what Nuno wants, and it's about the blend. Because, again, going back to what Des said about Postecoglou, I don't think he's got any excuses now because he's had a pre-season. The value of a pre-season is being shown, isn't it? You've got a manager getting his own thoughts, and he's not working on the job, having to get his beliefs in place on the job. It's gone back pre-season. Two things happened in pre-season for us, didn't they? The squad clearly bonded around the crazy gang like at Aina and co. And he's done a lot of good work to get his team playing the way he wants to play. The new players obviously were bedded in quite quickly, especially Milenkovic. And for me, if you sell Alanga, even if it's for 50 million, what do you replace him with? And the other thing is, you're not dealing with. I don't personally know Anthony, that guy, the other guy at Man United. But you're not dealing with a guy who acts like they think he's made it and he's the dogs, whatever. You're dealing with a young player who he's got that kind of Ryan Yates attitude at training where he wants to improve all the time. And in some ways, this is going to sound really weird. In some ways, that was slightly what was getting him, because he wants to come inside more and affect the game more like a wide midfielder, doesn't he? He was saying in one of his interviews, and he did it brilliantly, didn't he? At Liverpool, where he come inside, played that pass. But ultimately, Alanga's got a gift which is deadly on a football pitch, which is that pace, and he can finish as well, obviously. And now he's confident. The problem is we're on another level to what we were a year or 2 years ago. It's all right saying, we can make a big profit and sell a player for 50 million, but what are you going to replace them with? What's the guarantee they're going to fit in the changing room the way the guys do at the minute? What's the guarantee they'll be happy to have a spell coming off the bench the way Alanga? I'm not saying Alanga wanted to come off the bench, but he clearly didn't rock the boat and he took his chance when it came. I think this transfer window, everyone's going, we need this, we need that. What we need is to hold on to what we want to hold on to first and foremost. And if we do add to it, brilliantly. But it's no longer about getting the right player for the right job. It's also about the right character because, and Des alluded to it earlier, we're not footballing teams off the park, left, right and centre. We are in spells, obviously. It's like I always say about Morgan Gibbs-White. You've got to leave him on the pitch when we're not winning or, for as long as you possibly can. Because apart from his amazing work rate, he only has to play well for 10 minutes and he wins you the game, like he did at Man U or whatever. And not saying he's played badly for the rest of the game, but if he gets into the game for 10 minutes, he wins you the game. And Alanga's like that a little bit in that, he's a really good footballer, but he's got that deadly pace and he can finish. So I personally wouldn't sell him. Not for 50 million, even though that's a very high amount of money and a good valuation. The only reason I would sell a player now is to save us from PSR, because if we ever got docked points in the next year, obviously it could cost us our league title or our Champions League spot.
Yeah.
But no, I like Jota's got a role to play. And I've said this before, and I've heard rumours about him going out on loan for a bit. But another player, Sosa is a baller. Sosa is a baller, but he's just, because of the type of player he is, he reminds me of a bit of a cross between, this is good praise, sort of Ian Woan / Chris Waddle in terms of the way he handles the ball. He just
don't ever disrespect Ian Woan. Don't ever disrespect the left.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, that's a
compliment.
Don't ever put Sosa and Ian Woan in that same
No, Sosa's got the potential to be that good because of the way he handles the ball. But as sometimes happens, as we know with players coming to this country, he perhaps hasn't quite had the game time to settle into the nature of the league. But he will. I'm convinced he's one for the future.
Yeah, but let's keep it real. Like I said, Olympiacos, I speak to Olympiacos mates and said they want him and someone else. And the reason Sergio's not playing because the players in front of him, like Dore, Langar, Jota Silva coming on, and he's not getting the game time. So that's the reason why he's not getting that game.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's why I say a loan might be good for him because I do feel he's one for the future. Because let's say Hudson-Odoi gets injured, you want someone on that left-hand side, don't you? Because Hudson-Odoi, by the way, I think I told you this the other day, but because I was ill for the Villa match, I swapped my tickets. So I wasn't sitting in A block. I couldn't stand up all game. And I sat down near the front in T block. And my God, the way he manipulates the ball is incredible. It's like a part of his foot. Yeah, when you see him close up, like a few yards away, how he's just, he's he's a very special player, isn't he? And I mean, he was expensive, obviously, at 3 million. But no, you're right. Let's say Hudson-Odoi gets injured because, players get injured. Then maybe Sosa would get more time. But I think I've seen enough bits and pieces of Sosa to see there's a really good player there for the future. Maybe not right now for where we are at the moment. And as you quite rightly say, there's players doing their job superbly in front of him. And the argument could be, especially with the way Jota's had an impact, those players that are in front of him are having an impact because they know they've got such big competition for places as well, which helps.
100%. People, please do hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. Des, I want to talk about Nico Williams because we had Toffolo and Alex Marino on the bench. And like I said, I think he dealt with Brendan Johnson really good yesterday. Do you think he's a player going forward? Because I know we can buy Alex Marino in January if we can. But do you think is his place to lose now for these games coming up?
Oh, of course it is because he's got strong. It's his place to lose. He's got strong opposition sat behind him on the bench. Marino was playing fantastically well. I had my reservations about him in particular, but he came into the team and did a really good job. His performance has levelled off just a little bit. And I wondered when he lost his place whether it was in mind with the Villa game coming up, and perhaps giving Nico a run out because he definitely won't be able to play. But I'm sure that's not the case to some degree because he was playing okay. He must have just seen something from Nico which he believes, perhaps it's the defensive side of it, getting back into position quickly. And being able to do that. He's an athlete, Nico. He's up and down that line. For what he lacks in a little bit of easiness on the eye, I guess. He's a real athlete and he covers a lot of ground and he has got a wonder of a right foot at times. We don't see it so much for Forest as we've seen for Wales. At times he's a real asset to them in that sense. But he's playing really well. And let's not forget, Nico's a young player too. Came with a big reputation, obviously played at Liverpool and then at Fulham. And he came to us. What surprised me when we signed him for so much money and why I think it took time is, let's not forget, he was on the bench at Fulham when we signed him. We signed him to be a regular first-team Premier League player, we thought, until Serge Aurier sort of come in and surprised us all. So it's took a little bit of a time to adjust. I remember seeing lots of rumours at the start of this season about big clubs were going to come in for him.
Napoli. I think it was Napoli.
There was an article out, who it was, I don't know, but it was linking him. And when I say big clubs, some of them were not so big. West Ham, Man United, some Italian clubs, were linked with him. But yeah, so all. Again, like everyone in the team, and it all boils back to the same thing. And it almost what you're saying about it being boring winning every week. It's the consistency of what we're doing. Yeah. It's the consistency of performance. It's what we're getting from each player. Steve Brown made the comment last time that they're 8 out of 10s every week. Exactly the same this week. 8 out of 10s throughout the team. And that's what Nico's come in. And I got why Nuno went with Moreno in the end because of the balance, the left foot on that side and the fact he likes Aina. I think Aina's slightly better right back because let's not forget, right now they could still both be in the team but be playing on opposite sides. So it's even more interesting that Nico's playing there, considering how well Aina does on that side. But I think Aina just gives you so much. Not so much more, but more from being a right back, and he's first choice. And it's round pegs for round holes. We've got to a position finally with a squad and with what we've got. Where I said it, I used this term last time that he's picking the team based on ability and performance, not on necessity. We're doing well with injuries. That could kill us at some point, and like it does with teams. Suspensions are kicking in, but because we've got a pool of players who are on top of their game, it shouldn't hurt us too much. We might go like for like Dominguez with Yates in the next game, but it's that consistency of what everybody's doing. The fact that Nico's just slotted in again. Obviously, the instruction's clear. Perhaps, and I'm loath to have a pop at Steve Cooper because I'm a massive fan. I'll never take that away from what I am. But he, perhaps now the instruction's a little clearer. The tactics make more sense. The Molo mentioned there a pre-season under the belt where our managers had a chance to work with the squad. And that thing I said about round pegs in round holes, I know it's a cliche from the past and things, but that's really important, isn't it? Because it's all on Nuno's terms. He will have a test. He will have a tough spell to contend with, and people will be out, and God forbid we lose Chris Wood or one of the defenders. We feel we've got little bits in there to replace them short term, but we wouldn't want to do that on a long term basis. So yeah, it's definitely there. The team is starting to really settle down. And the nicest thing about people like Nico coming into the team, you don't lose any confidence. If Moreno came back in this week against Everton or whenever, you'd kind of go, okay, that's his decision. We've seen it when Anderson's took time out of the team, Elanga's took time out of the team. And the nicest thing about it, and Nico's the ultimate professional at Forest, I believe, but you've seen it also with Elanga and Anderson and at times. Even Morgan had to sit on the bench for a game, didn't he? Yeah. Maybe not, maybe wrong there. But anyway.
No.
The fact that they sat on the bench and then come back in and been as brilliant as they were before they went out just shows that it's all clicking together and everybody's in it for the long haul. And that's what's really exciting. Molo, I don't know how much you can talk about it, but Molo touched on there about transfers. People keep saying to me, are you going to lose players in January? I don't think so. I don't think we'll be losing anyone because I don't think the club will be prepared to sell anyone. Of course, longer term, the money might be that ridiculous. We can't say no. But now it's that sort of squad you're almost happy with. And people keep saying to me, do you think you'll sign anyone in January? And I'm like, well, if we do, they've got to be really, really good players who are going to make a difference. Because there's no point signing squad players because we've got... Yes, we do get considerably weakened if we lose in certain areas, but we ain't going to go out in January and buy 60, 70 million pound players to compete for a first team. So what we've got, I'm happy with. Let's not waste any money. If we don't get any signings, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, as long as we sort of carry on in the same vein. And again, it's that thing about a little bit of pragmatism. Let that set in. We were joking about Man United and where we are and this and that. Just the reality of the fact that if we know we're going to have a bad spell, if we accept when we go to City and Arsenal, we're still likely to get beat. It's that realism, and let's not lose our head, because as soon as us as fans lose our head, and something happens on the pitch, and it all has that knock-on effect, and that's the most disheartening thing. So right now, everybody's doing the job, everyone's pulling in the right direction, and I think the biggest credit you can give to Nico, because that was the point of the question, is he's probably the best example of it in the club. Having to sit and bide his time, win his place, not let it affect him, and come good as we know he is. He could be another one linked away, because that link was there before, and he's got a lot of years ahead of him.
100%. I want to ask.
It could be. I'll just pick up what Des said there about Nico, and well, Nico, Aina, and Moreno at the moment in particular. We know it's a squad game. We're only one injury from one of them having to play every game, pretty much, and to have 3 genuine quality Premier League fullbacks, we're lucky. And like Des says, there are positions where an injury is going to hurt you. But as Man City have shown, as Arsenal have shown, don't matter how good you are, if the wrong players get injured, it knocks you out. I really like Mo Salah as a player, but I really could do him pulling his hamstring for the next few weeks. Do you know what I mean? Or whoever. Any team that loses critical players, But I didn't like those links about Williams, because Williams is not anywhere near his peak yet, and yet he's really good. Why is it different with Morata? Morata, no one says, Morato's a really good centre-back. He's going to want regular first team. He's going to leave. Do you know what I mean? I know he's new. It's a squad game now. It's a 16, 15-man game, isn't it? Even on match day. And the number of injuries that come along and the number of suspensions, you can't. It's not, as much as I love the Miracle Men, they did it with 14 players or whatever. That's just not doable anymore. Not because the game's changed, but they're athletes now. So the injuries, when they come, they can be out for a while, and they're up against other athletes. And Nico Williams, he's been a contender for man of the match every game he's played since he came back in, hasn't he? That's the biggest compliment I can pay. Like Des said, he hasn't looked like he's been out of the team for a while. He looks like he's been playing week in, week out to a high level. And he's an example for me of the development of the young players from when we first got into the Premier League, where, let's be honest, he looked a really neat and tidy footballer, but he looked like he wasn't up to it physically, didn't he, at one point? But now his defensive intensity is brilliant. Plus, you watch, I've said this before, how good he is in the air for a fullback. He's really good at heading the ball, isn't he, for a fullback? On that back post or wherever. But anyway, sorry, Des more or less said it all. I was just reinforcing what Des said. Nico, you're awesome.
Before we get man of match and all that, I've seen on the social media, again, he's done his job as usual. The mighty Ryan Yates has rattled the Tottenham Hotspur fan base as usual. He's going to be missed for the Everton game. He's suspended. But I'm loving every single bit of Yatesy, because I did get worried a little bit with that early booking he did. I thought, they're going to try and do something like when Madsen come on. I thought, Madsen's going to do it again, try and rattle him. But Ryan Yates done his job. He rattled the whole Spurs fan base yesterday. But Des, the question is, we've got Everton, and I don't know if you remember this, Des. Last season we played. I was talking to Molo. We had Dominguez and Danilo in that role, and it didn't work out at all. And Ryan Yates come on. I know we lost, but do you think with Yates suspended, he's going to be missed for that? Like I said, it's the way Everton play. They're different to the way Spurs play.
Yeah, maybe, but it's a different season. Forest are a completely different entity this season. I'm not. From his time at Forest, I'm not a massive fan of Mangala at all. I don't think he does enough to progress the team and take them forward. So I don't see much danger from there. I do see some dangers in what Everton do. They also get it when they do go forward. They get the fullbacks forward and they get the ball into the box. Yesterday, I watched a bit of the game, and I thought they were going to beat City, to be honest, because the way they were breaking on them. Because all they want you to do is soak it up in the same way, and they've got people like Jack Harrison and people like that. But I think we've got enough now to deal with them. Jack Harrison would have been a player we struggled against for whatever reason. Someone who works the line, gets the ball in, and wants to fight and scrap for everything. I think we've got enough to contend with someone like that. So the midfield's going to be key. If I'm really honest, and I'll talk a lot, but I won't talk about things I don't know too much about.
Talks a lot.
Don't know much about Everton this season. I know they don't score very many goals, and that should be a massive plus point in our box because they scored 2 goals in 10 games.
Yes, I don't know if no one saw that at the Man City at the end of it. There was attacking. It was 4-on-2. And I don't know how they didn't do the right pass, and Everton could have won it.
Exactly, and that comes from confidence, doesn't it? That's where if Forest get themselves in 4-1-2, and I'm not saying we could score every chance because we'll miss chances, other teams will miss as well. But that's where you'd like to think confidence plays its part because City were pushing on, and City aren't very good at the back. It's as simple as that. And we're so much better. So you look at Everton's goal scoring record, where they've drawn so many blanks in the last 10, 12, 13 games, and you think, well, we should be able to deal with that part of the pitch. The midfield, again, I refer back to Mangala. He's going to fight and win the ball, but he gives it away a lot. And it depends how we approach Everton on their pitch, whether we try and draw them out a little bit more, although I'm sure they won't because that's Sean Dyche's style. But the best thing for Forest will be to try and draw them out. Let Mangala give us the ball back, then hit him on the break. But other than that, I just think again, what the beauty of all this, and we can talk about it all day. And I'm not trying to shirk the question because I told you I don't know the answer on this one. The beauty of it is it's seeing what Nuno does, and then you appreciate how good a manager he is and where his different ideas come from. Because I really believe this is a winnable game, but I really believe it's a tough game as well. I said in the last pod that I feel we can win the next three because of the nature of the teams we're playing. Tottenham and Wolves defensively are they're all over the shop, even though Wolves have picked up recently. I think Everton is going to be the tough one where it might be two contrasting styles that we have to find a way to break down. And sometimes that's where you become a little bit the victim of your own success. When you're a smallish or relatively, not small, that's the wrong word. When you're a low achiever, I guess, or a lower Premier League team, when you start coming up against these teams who you perhaps start thinking, we saw it against Ipswich to some degree, didn't we? It was hard. We had to grind them down. And I think it might be another one of those. The good thing about that is we've had to grind out results regardless, whatever the capability, against teams that are much better than Everton. So I hope we can go on. But in terms of Yates and Dominguez and the specific question, let's not forget Dominguez is playing fantastically well as well. I'm not, and Mollo knows more than anyone. I don't think they're the same player anyway. I don't think either of them are there they're there to fight and scrap and do the dirty work. But I don't think they're there to do that crucial number 6 role. Again, I think it'll be intriguing to see what they do. I wouldn't be too surprised if you see something a little bit similar to Brentford.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too surprised if you saw Forest almost adapt Morgan Gibbs-White and Anderson in more sort of midfield roles where they can get forward, and then perhaps even 3 at the back or rely on fullbacks. Again, I'll just reiterate, the best thing about it is I don't know the answer, Dore. I just know whoever goes on the pitch at the moment will put in a shift and give us a great chance of winning the football match.
100%. Right, before we do go and get everyone's man of the match and team ratings, so people in the chat, if you can, the 46 people in, please, on Facebook as well, please get who's your man of the match yesterday and what was your team rating out of 10. Mark, let me start with you. Who's your man of the match and your rating out of 10?
I can't split them. I'm going to go... Because when I walked away from the game, I thought Williams. But having watched the game back, as Williams was superb, by the way, and he's in the conversation, I'm going Milenkovic and Murillo, joint man of the match. I just can't split them.
You can't without the other. You've got to stick with one.
It's a team game. All right, I'll go the centre-backs. I'll go the centre-backs for me. I don't care. And team rating, if I had to pick one, God, man, I just can't. They were both superb. I'll go for Milenkovic purely because he didn't make a single mistake. And Murillo was absolutely brilliant. But just once, he gave the ball away. by mistake. Yeah, he got caught in possession almost. But that's not so unfair. They were both absolutely superb. But team rating, I'm going to be up because of our expectations of how good we can be.
Yeah.
Defensively superb, but I'm going to go 7 because we didn't quite have the cutting edge. We had enough of a cutting edge for what we needed in the end. But Des is right. It probably should have been a bit more comfortable in many ways. So I'm going to go 7. Good, solid performance. Brilliant at the back. Did just enough up front to get what we needed. And hopefully we can pick up a bit from there.
Okay. So, what's the name? Mark Preston says 9 out of 10. Danish Rest says Morgan is white, an 8 out of 10. Des, can you talk? You like to talk, Des? He's back.
Spinning plates. Spinning plates.
Okay, Des, man of match.
Oh, do you know what? Because I was talking there, I didn't even give it much thought. Do you know, talking about being boring and saying the same things, for me it was Murillo. I just thought he out-muscled and again they did a nice little feature on the way they cover each other on Match of the Day.
Yeah.
And I'd already noticed that, you know, that we've known about it for a long time, but I just feel Murillo at the moment, you know, he's obviously took confidence from when the other day when I said he could win the Ballon d'Or.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously heard that, and
right. People are right. Wait, let me put it in context. So Des said it on the Love podcast. Murillo will get a Ballon d'Or. So I put it on my Instagram and tagged Murillo. And Murillo, after 10 minutes, liked the message. And even Murillo thinks he'll get Ballon d'Or. So, yeah.
No, he likes that Dore. He likes that Des thinks he does. He's not saying he will. He's too humble a guy. He likes that Des thinks he's got it in him to win it. I agree, by the way.
I'm just joking, but obviously I'm joking in that sense. But I just think he's playing with so much confidence, and I have been banging on. I'm not just saying I told you so, blah blah blah. I've been banging on at Glenn and Ian in particular all season, saying he's getting a little bit overshadowed by the hype around Milenkovic. The hype is deserved around Milenkovic. You know, I'm not taking anything away from Milenkovic, but I think we've actually forgot. And there was a couple of corners yesterday. The biggest criticism we had over Murillo last year was his heading. There was a couple of corners where he just come out of nowhere. Because I was worried about Solanke. Obviously, he did a lot of damage to us last year in Nuno's first game. And he never had a header because every time the ball went in the box, Murillo just leapt like a salmon and the ball was gone. And again, it was just another facet to his game that I'd not been basing this opinion on his form on. You know, to see even more coming out of it, again, confidence just absolutely oozing out of him. And the fact he's still young. So for me, Murillo was outstanding. For me, he's been outstanding for weeks, and for me, he's been the player of the season. You know, and I'd go that far to say because I just think the maturity shown to this point and the way, you know, we can go right back to the Liverpool game, and I know they weren't great that day, but these star players who are not getting anywhere, and it's just incredible the way he's playing. So for me, that Murillo 8.5. I'll give everybody else 8.
Okay.
And the team 8 as well, because again, it was just they did what they had to do to win a football match without saying that was the best performance of the season. And you can't say that every week. You can only say it when it's the best performance of the season.
100%. Right, I'll give mine. I think I've got to agree with Marlow. I think Nico Williams had a great time at left back. I can't say Milenkovic, but I say him every bloody time. So I'm going to say someone different. So I say Nico Williams. And I'll say 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for performance. And we just keep winning. I know. And when I say I'm bored, I'm joking around. I'm enjoying it, people. So don't take it literally what I'm saying. I'm not bored. We keep winning. 4 on a trot. And it's just... Was it not Frank Clark? It was last time we won 4 on a trot in Premier League. It wasn't it? So, yeah, it's just amazing.
Towards the end of that season.
Before this for the rival fans as well. There's a helpline for Ryan Yates. So the Ryan Yates sports line emergency helpline. If any rival fans have got a problem with Ryan Yates, just call 0800 1865, 1865 for any disgruntled football fans that hates Ryan Yates. So please.
What was brilliant though, Dore, and I know Martin O'Neill mentioned it after the Leicester game when they were talking, and he mentioned how he wins free kicks. There was a couple in the second half, and this is why he is important, and this is why managers love him. Because possession and getting the ball back is a big part of football, whether I like it these days or not, but it's the way he wins a free kicks which really annoys the other team's fans, because technically some of them are fouls on their players. There's a couple where he's done blatant obstruction and then gone flying, and he's got the decision because it looks that way. He's almost got his body in between, which you go, oh yeah, it's a free kick, but really it's obstruction on the other player because he throws his body and then he gets lobbed to the floor.
If there's room for the player to get in there, it can't be obstruction.
Oh, they were, Marlo, but I love it. I absolutely.
See, that's why we
it.
love Yatesy, and people won't be a fan of Yatesy, and that's fine. But I love Yatesy, and I love the way he does it. And like Des has just said, I think the second half when was it Maddison? He drawed the foul to Maddison.
Yeah.
And
Maddison got booked.
And Maddison got booked for it. So, and yeah, Spurs fans, stop whinging. The rest of the Premier League, stop whinging about the Ryan Yates, because it is what it is, and everyone's got an S house in the team, but it is what it is. Right. Thank you for everyone for taking part in this early show. I think I've enjoyed these early shows, man. I think Des a bit annoying. Mollo, it's good to have Mollo back in that, but like I said, people, it's good to have a winning feeling. 4 in the balance, preferred in the league. We play Everton on Sunday, and hopefully we can get another big result there. Yeah. And
wait,
Mollo, before we do go, because I asked Des this question. At the start of the season, where did you say Forest will finish? Now, where do you think Forest will finish now? So, what did you say at the start?
I said, I think I said about 12th, something like that. No, I said 8th, because the difference between 12th and 8th is always so slim. But now it's obvious now, isn't it?
You said 8th.
Yeah.
I need to see.
I said there's no point saying 12th. Don't you remember what I said though? I said Forest never have a dull season. We're either fighting relegation, fighting for promotion, or in this case, fighting for the title. We just don't do dull nothing. We all said, would it be nice to have a nice mid-table finish? Not happening. It's not the Forest way. But just a quick question for you, though, because I've not really, with being ill and busy and everything, I haven't really followed anything else outside of us. How are Leicester doing since they sacked the manager that had them in 16th?
Let me phone Locks. I'll phone Locks. Oh yes, the bottom 3. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
If no one knows who Locks is, please go on my Instagram. Des will know. I've had a little argument with him on the WhatsApp group about him warming open arms for Rude and all that. And he's most, yeah. He said in his own words, they'll stay at the bottom 3. Right now, they're in the bottom 3. It is what it is. But yeah, people.
I don't see the teams above them either faltering enough, because Wolves maybe have sorted themselves out a bit and they've got a good front two. The teams above that, teams like Palace and Everton, they've all got the know-how and some real quality players. It's hard to see beyond the promoted teams, isn't it?
Oh no, Leicester are the worst. Leicester are the worst. Yeah. Leicester are worse than Southampton. I don't know how they've got the points they've got. I did actually think under Cooper, and it won't blind loyalty to him, that they might survive, because they were finding ways to get results. And we knew Cooper's team grew into a season and they would have a spell. Now they look like they're going to concede every single time. So they've got those points, but I wouldn't be surprised if they end up a lot nearer to Southampton than they are now. We know Southampton are bad, but they've had a change, and hopefully that'll make them better. So that makes them even more likely to get relegated, because I think they'll finish bottom.
Right, people, we'll get going. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for everyone for listening to me, Des and Mollo. Make sure everyone follows Des and Mollo on the socials as well. Des does his before and after game reaction as well. Everyone's going to the game, right? Are you going, Mollo?
Yeah.
Mollo? Yeah. So
Early
everyone's
doors, though.
Early doors.
Go
Make sure everyone
early.
follows
It could get messy.
so make sure everyone does follow on his social media as well. He does this again, games after and before, all the rubbish. And I think people should out there for saying Man U will finish above 4. So people go on Twitter out there and don't abuse him, but yeah, and as well as well. I'm doing a show tomorrow. Talk about Everton game. That'll be early again. But yeah, we are 4th place people. And it's just enjoy it. Just enjoy it because it is.
We're not 4th. Did you just say 4th? Did you just say 4th?
No, third. Shit. Sorry. I don't know where we are. We're in the Champions League spot. We're in the Champions League spot. That's all it matters. That's all it matters because Arsenal played later on, get switched. So, people, before you do go, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we're on the European tour. My passport's staying out till May. Peace and love, everyone. Up the bloody
Show
forest.
me the road to far.